Old habits die hard, and the Bruins were guilty of slipping back into old ways on Thursday night in Las Vegas. Bad turnovers, quick goals by Vegas after a Bruins goal, and some questionable plays put the Bruins in a bad spot, leading to their second straight loss this week. Can they get things under control and stay on the offensive when they play Colorado and Utah in back-to-backs this weekend? This is a Bruins tape-to-tape snapshot.
Before the season started, Cam Neely referenced that he wanted this year's Boston Bruins team to be harder to play against. As a matter of fact, he went so far as to say that when opponents saw them on the schedule, they would say to themselves, "Shit, we have to play these guys?" Well, clearly, the Vegas Golden Knights did not get that memo as they beat the Bruins 6-5 on Thursday evening. The Bruins have now suffered their second loss in a row, and some old bad habits that were slowly creeping into the game against the Blackhawks reared their ugly head in the game against the Vegas Golden Knights, and it cost them a win. There were costly turnovers at inopportune times. The Bruins would take a lead only to give said lead back again. There were drop passes that were left for no one but a Vegas Golden Knight player to be picked up. There were ill-advised pinches. All in all, it was not a good night for the Boston Bruins, despite the fact that they scored 5 goals. And even Marco Sturm was not pleased with how the Bruins played. They are supposed to be a defense-oriented team. They are not equipped to get into a run-and-gun situation with the likes of the Vegas Golden Knights, in my opinion. And if the Bruins are not able to clean up a lot of the mistakes that they made in that game, the Colorado Avalanche are going to feast and feast mightily when they face the Boston Bruins on Saturday night.
Like in the Tampa Bay game, Boston's good moments were peppered throughout the game, constantly giving us hope that they could pull off a win. But the hill was too steep and too long to climb, and they ran out of time in both games. The box score for the Vegas game is deceptive. There were certainly moments that were very lopsided against the Bruins, and the Bees continue to make non-superstar goalies look like Vezina candidates. As much as I appreciate the hard work, the good effort, the right attitude on the ice, as well as a solid defensive structure, I hate to say it, but in the last 2 games, I'm getting the sense that Boston is just not good enough to beat some of these teams. This is where heart, grit, perseverance, determination, whatever you want to call it, just can't beat talent. They have to figure out a way to make up for it. The most I've seen has been on quick moves, transitions, and face-off win shots. See Kastelik's face-off goal and Mikey's quick shot on Schmidt to the 5-hole for the Bruins' 5th goal. They have to start thinking like that. They got outshot because they were on the PK 5 times for a total of 12 penalty minutes, including a double minor for Zacha. They can't play this way against Colorado, another team absolutely worth being a little afraid of. In fact, the Avs have yet to lose a game in regulation, and Scott Wedgwood has played all 5 of their opening games thus far. The only potential weakness that the Avs have at this point is not having a known backup goalie. They currently have Trent Miner on the books, and he's only ever played 2 games in his career at the NHL level. Their other goalie, Mackenzie Blackwood, recently completed a stint in the AHL for conditioning as part of his recovery from an injury, but it's unclear what the status is for him right now. It does not appear that he will be available Saturday when the Avs are hosting the Bruins. If Boston can stop with the back and forth, up and down, that play that Sturm described in a post-game interview, perhaps they can take advantage of either the overused Wedgwood or the untested Miner quickly, be disciplined enough to not take silly penalties, and lock this game down early. But we shall see. I don't have to tell you who Jeremy Swayman has to worry about with this Colorado roster. He just needs to be in top form. In Utah, Karel Vejmelka is holding down the fort between the pipes. He's exceeding expectations right now with a sub-2 goals against average and a .929 save percentage. Barrett Hayton, Dylan Guenther, and Jack McBain are Mammoth players to watch out for, while Guenther and Nick Schmaltz lead the team in shot attempts. If the Bruins can quickly neutralize these players, they do have a fair shot at winning this game. And win they must in order to keep pace with the rest of their division and the conference. Make sure you rate and review the podcast to help us reach more listeners, and tune in weekly to our full podcast available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms.